Thanks for joining me. My name is Mike Hamilton from Trade the Easy Way, and I'm just going to give you a very short presentation on what I've been doing over the recent weeks and months. That's what I've been doing for a very long time, in fact. If you take me back to my origins of day trading in 2006 and 7. But I'm just going to talk about what I do in day trading and what it's going to take for anybody else who wants to get involved in day trading and be consistent at it and make a profit from it, and even potentially make a living out of it. Why not make a living out of it? So I'm not going to bore you with slides either. I'm going to go straight into some, I'll show you some trades I've done recently, and I'll also just show you what's been going on today. And that will give you an idea about what we do in the trading room and whether or not you want to join us. Okay, so I'm going to answer these questions. Is it for me? How can I boost my chances of success? What markets do I trade? What do I think are the best markets for day trading? And answer questions like how much can you make? And is the trading room for me? So on to the next one. So just very quickly about us, I operate a live trading room, and in that live trading room, we open for the US Open at 2:30 p.m. And we look at primarily US indices, but also a lot of oil and gold and so on, and also day trading some stocks on occasions. And also, I'm not just a day trader. I'm an investor as well. So what I quite often do is I actually use my time at the screens as a day trader to get into trades that I'm looking to sit in for some days and weeks. I'll also talk about intra-week trading, as opposed to just day trading. Just to get this straight right from the start, what I'm not interested in is sitting at my screen for hours on end, jumping in and out little trades. I'm not scalping. I'm day trading for an intraday move, not for a few pips here and there. Some people day trade for 10, 15 pips. That's fine. If you make a profit out of it, keep doing it. But that's not for me. By all means, type in any questions at any stage, and I'll come back to you if you've got any questions and go through that. Right. For those of you just joined us, I'm not going to bore you with slides. I'm just going to go through a couple of slides and then show you what I've been up to. Quick disclaimer. Trading carries risks, and the whole everything I do and everything you should do is about managing risk. Everything. I don't think you can ever put enough emphasis on that. If you do not manage your risk, you will not stay in the game. You will not be able to pursue a career as a day trader. Okay, the reason why I like day trading is because it's low risk. I'm taking very low risk entries with relatively tight stops in terms of the bigger intraday move, that is, not in terms of scalping. We trade breakouts, we trade the open, we trade breakouts, and we trade intraday reversals as well. Okay, and just these are the kinds of markets that we trade. So the average daily pips on Forex is not that great, whereas that one's moved. The Dow moved 500 pips yesterday. Oil moved 350 pips yesterday. It's moved at least 250 pips today, I think. So so oil and Dow are my absolute favorite markets, but no reason why you shouldn't trade Forex. No reason at all. Okay, let's come out of these slides. Let's just have a look at what I've been doing recently. Let's look at, so these are a few of my recent trades going back either this week or last week or a couple of weeks later. So as oil was coming down, There's an oil trade. My entry is there. That little pink line there is my entry level. And yeah, I've been long focused on this gap because there's been a gap down there just under the 80 mark. It's been there for a good few months, I think. And so as oil crept into this resistance area here and put a sell signal in under this resistance level I had marked up, we got short. So 600 odd pounds on the account at that particular point. And we're looking for that to go down there. From memory, I don't think you can see at the point I've done this screenshot, it's 85.80. From memory on that day, I think it came down to about 84. So we got part of that move. So once the move appeared to be over, then we just took the profits. So we didn't get, I always set my limit orders far away on the target areas, but we don't always get the target areas. If we're coming towards the end of the session and the momentum to the downside, if I'm short, the momentum to the downside's weakening, then I'll either ramp the stop up or just take it off. Long as I get, but yeah, I got, from memory, I got at least close to 1,000 on that day on this particular trade. You don't have to trade big size. You obviously need to trade the size to your account. So it's about a positioning size, and of course risk management is everything. This is a trade in the 2nd of November. Bought some support on that one. This is one I did yesterday. And now the reason why I took this trade yesterday is because there is a huge daily pivot support under there at this $70.40. The way in which my system works, my system works across the confluence, all the different time frames. I have a slightly different way of measuring each big time frame. And the way in which I measure the daily chart, you're actually looking at a 30 or 60-minute chart there, but the actual reason why I took the trade is because I had a very strong support level at those lows, and that's why I took that particular trade. But you can see on this, even on this time frame, we had a hit. This was Friday, so we had a bounce into the end of Friday. And then yesterday, Monday, we dipped down here. We started closing higher, came right into that support level. So I bought, you can see I bought this level here. That little blue line is my entry. Got 600 odd pounds on the books at the moment. And I was looking for 73. We've actually hit 76 today. I think we might have even punched it higher than 76. I'm not sure yet. We're going to have a look in a minute. So yeah, these are just a few examples of what I've been doing. That's way back to October. Anyway, let's come out of that. So let's have a look at today's market. So this is oil. One of the key aspects of my time as a day trader is the gap. So where the market closes at the end of the previous day is where I'm looking to pick up the market. Now, sometimes these markets, gaps is very important. Sometimes they work to the pip. They was very, very slight move underneath the gap here. But we held the gap midday and we went from 73.37 up to a high of 76.50. So we have done about 320 pips today in oil. So if you were a pound a point, it's paying very slow, I don't know why. If you were a pound a point, that's how much you could have made on just a relatively small trade. Obviously, if you are 10 pounds a point, then you have got that potential. All right, if you're 50p a point, you're still getting a reasonable amount of money in a day. And so the trade only took from, we actually fired up into sort of 5, 6 o'clock. You don't have to, I mean, we get the bulk of the movies over and done with by about 4 o'clock. 3 or 4 o'clock, just as Europe finishes. So that's the kind of thing you could do. If we look at gold, these are all 10-minute charts. So the markets have really fired up today. I'm not in this trade. I've not touched gold today, but that has really broken up nicely. So I tell you what, I would look for this level tomorrow. We've got Fed tomorrow. Federal Reserve interest rate decision. Most people are predicting a 0.5% rise. Is there any change on that? That would present potential increase in volatility if they come outside of that. If it's more, this gold could really come off. If it's less, this might really take off. But just that's a rough guide, by the way. Don't trade on the decision. Obviously, as technical traders, we are trading what we see. All right. You will note that I shorted the FTSE today. I'm a huge bear on the FTSE. If you look at the weekly chart on the FTSE, we closed significantly lower last week. So we had a huge sell signal on the weekly. We pushed up and then engulf that on the weekly chart, if you look at your charts. So that's why I'm selling highs. And so I've bought the oil today and shorted the FTSE. And I don't often trade the FTSE, but I find the FTSE daily and weekly chart really interesting at the moment. That's why I've decided to trade that. Got Bank of England on Thursday, of course. So this is the kind of thing that we do in the room. Now, the bottom line is with day trading, or any trading, you have to have a system. Now, I've given away a little one sort of corner of my system today by talking about gap trading. You can see even today, the FTSE came in under this gap, but when it closed above the gap here, all this selling was completely reversed, and this went right up into a very nice area of resistance. So the gaps are doing really, really well today. That's not always the case. Some days the market will get close to a gap or part fill a gap and then go in the direction of the initial open. So that's another part of the system. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail because that's a key part of the system as well. We have a key anchor chart that we look for breakouts and intraday reversals. So there's several aspects of the kind of trades we take in the trading room, depending on what the market's doing, depending on where we are in the cycle of trades. So the annual cycle, that's what I mean, and what the overall trend is in the daily and the weekly chart. If we've had a particularly bearish year, particularly up to this autumn, and so obviously the system does work perfectly well in a bear market or a bull market. We just flip the trade setups. The trade setups are the same, but obviously you flip the specifications. But the point is, we have a very fixed way of operating in the room, and that's the key point. If you want to make a consistent profit in your day trading and make an income out of this, you have to have a system. There's no way anybody is going to make a living out of day trading unless you've got a very precise way of engaging this market, because and also a specific set of rules. So you've got to have a system, you've got to have rules, and you've got to have a trade plan. I think there's a huge number of people out there that trade without a trade plan. Because that's laborious, that's the boring side of trading, isn't it? If you get excited by trading, then be careful. This is not for adrenaline junkies whatsoever. This is for people who make money out of trading are very measured and focused on what they're doing, and they do the same thing every day and expect the same results. Okay, any questions? So the reason why I'm showing you this is because I'm looking to recruit more people in my trading room. To get into the trading room, you need to have done my program, my day trading program, which is a 4.5 hour program. Once you've completed that, then you're straight into my live trading room. And the trading room at the moment is 4 days a week, operated from about 2:20 p.m. UK time for a period of normally about 45 minutes. It can be longer, can be shorter if we made our day's money. And then once you come out of the trading room, there is an alert service that picks up from that, and where I publicize any other trades I'm taking. I should give you a snapshot of what I've said today in the trading room. Let me just do a quick screenshot so I can swing it over to you, just so you can get a flavor of what we do in the room. Here we are. So today, I will enlarge that for you. Today I said, once I closed the room, I said I am shorting the FTSE high. At 3:08 today, I shorted the FTSE high. So let's go and have a look at the FTSE high then. If you look at this there's the weekly chart that I like so much. This is how I've lined. So I had this pink zone on my chart all year, because every time we've come into this area of 7,700, we tend to come out. We tend to fall out and make a new lower low. So I'm looking to see if, as we come into the back end of the year, if this will short, close underneath 7,300 and drop back down to at least 6,500. If it doesn't do it this month, then I will back off and I'll look at that into the new year. But that's what I'm looking at on that. So if you want to day trade and you are interested, then either message me here in that chat room or go to tradetheeasyway.com and drop me a line, ask me for information, and I will give you the lowdown on that. Just bear with me one moment. Yeah, so here is the website. Actually, I'll just pin you to the day trading side. That tells you a little bit more about the day trading side of what we do. And so I'm going to finish it there, unless you've got any more questions. You can see how, even though I'm a day trader, I'm using big time frames to look at what these markets are doing. If you look at the 3-hour chart, yeah, so a huge push up into that resistance area on the 3-hour chart, and we are underneath this 7,500 at the moment. So you can see why I'm shorting it. If we come out, if we break this low tomorrow, then I will short that and see if I can get a runner. So I do a couple of things on a market like this. I would hold a short like this over, but I would add to it in the trading room if that broke down in my direction tomorrow. You don't have to hold. Yeah, a lot of the trades I do not hold over. I literally just go in and out for that day, take my profit, and then just close everything down. But I've chosen to keep a position on this because of that weekly chart, on the basis that we may or may, well, hopefully we may break down underneath that low. Right, you're very quiet, so I presume maybe I've said so much I've answered all your questions, or yeah, anyway, that's it for me. So like I said, I'm recruiting for my trading room, looking to get more people using my system, and drop me a line if you're interested. Drop me a line. All right, I will be holding every Tuesday. I've not been quite regular in the last few months, but I have been picking it up again. I am going to do every single Tuesday. I will do a freebie session and show you what I've been doing on the day, and then teach you a little bit more about how I'm day trading. If you have got a different style, I'd be interested to hear that. But fine, all right. Thanks very much for coming along. I'm going to keep this nice and short. Hope you enjoyed that. I assume there's no more questions. Take care. Have a good evening. And watch out for the next event next Tuesday. Thanks very much. See you again.